very honored the family had asked me to come and do the eulogy, and I'm very happy to be working with Attorney Ben Crump, who is unparalleled as a civil rights attorney, and I call him the Attorney General of Black America, and Attorney Johnson, who we know all over the country, and the team here. We intend to fight for justice for this family. This is not a cameo appearance. I will be here whenever and however needed. I think that it is important. I'm also glad I was in my traveling party. I have the mother of Eric Garner, who was killed by a police chokehold in New York. Gwen Carr is with us, and Reverend Bartley, who's one of our regional directors, and Rachel Nordling, our media czar, Reverend Stephen Marshall, and my daughter is with us. I want to say the national significance of this case is that if we allow Grand Rapids or this county prosecutor or the police chief to hold the name of the police officer until or unless he's charged, it will set a national precedent that police now will not have to be named unless they're charged, which means they can make repeat offenses, and we never know they made repeat offenses unless they were charged by one of the offenses. That is a danger to every citizen in this country, and that's what I said in the sermon. We cannot tolerate that kind of precedent, because suppose he's not charged and he does something a year from now, we will not know he was the one that did this. Citizens do not have the right. If citizens are under investigation, we put their names out, less known if they're charged or convicted. So police cannot have a special way of being dealt with. That's one. Secondly, we're calling on the Justice Department to begin a civil rights investigation in this case. We will not leave this to local prosecutors, and we have called National Action Network, and I will join with the attorneys in calling on the Justice Department to meet with them and begin this case. We do not have to wait until the local prosecutors make their decision. We had a federal and state prosecution in George Floyd and got convictions in both. We had both in Ahmaud Arbery and got convictions in both. So the local prosecutor can think that it's all going to end with him. No, it's going to all begin at the same time. We are not going to see this covered up by local authorities. Before taking questions, let's hear from Attorney Ben Crump.
Thank you, Reverend Sharpton, for preaching a very profound eulogy that incorporated legal aspects, but also the spiritual aspects to celebrate the life of a young man who was killed by a police officer over a simple misdemeanor tag allegation. Attorney Ven Johnson, Attorney Robert McCoy, we still don't know if there was something wrong with his tag or not, because they're saying, Reverend Al, just take our word for it. Just like they saying, we're not going to tell you what his name is. There are so many issues that are civil rights issues and human rights issues in this case, and we believe that the whole world is watching Grand Rapids, Michigan, and the leadership gets to write how this story will end. Will it be one where we achieve equal justice for Patrick Lyoya and others, or will it be remembered? And Reverend Al profoundly made the comparison, Michigan 2022 or Mississippi 1952. How would this tragedy be remembered? I pray that they will take advantage of the opportunity to say, Grand Rapids, we're better than what we saw in that video, execution to the back of the head. And so, Ben, I don't know if you have a quick comment, and then we'll take questions.
I want today, on behalf of my firm and me, to be about the family. And I want to echo what Mr. Crump said and what Reverend Al said. Grand Rapids, Michigan, United States, we're so much better than this. Now we have to prove it by transparency, openness, honesty, by the investigation, discipline to this officer, charges criminally, and if necessary, civil action. Thank you.
Let me say this as I take questions. We want to thank Commissioner Womack, who has been a real catalyst, a leader for the community, and has kept us well briefed and well informed, and will continue to do all of my shows will continue to let the nation know what's happening. There's not a stronger local advocate I've seen in the nation than Commissioner Womack. Thank you very much.
So what should justice look like in this case?
Justice certainly should first start with naming this officer, and then impaneling a federal as well as local grand jury to bring the evidence. The tape that America has seen is a tape with a man on a man's back, and he's shot and killed. And I've seen it go broken down in different stages, frame by frame. And he was clearly on his back, holding him down and shooting him, which is an execution by most definitions.
With the George Floyd case, we had the video. There have been several other instances of police shootings where video made the difference in the case. Do you think that having the video and the bystander video specifically will make it?
I think the video could make a difference in this case, but also in George Floyd, we had a prosecutor that made a difference. And we don't know about this prosecutor, which is why we're going to the federal government at the same time and ask the federal government to investigate the case and investigate the investigation if it's necessary.
Have you reached out to the prosecutor in this case?
Right now, the Michigan State Police are doing the investigation. We expect that they're going to finish up this investigation sooner rather than later because they got a video. It should not take months to turn this over to the prosecutor.
Have you guys talked to the DOJ about this case and saying, hey, we want you all to come over to Michigan?
I put a call into the Civil Rights Division this morning when I was on the way, and I expect to speak with them. In fact, some of them spoke at our National Action Network convention last 2 weeks ago.
Sir, we can't imagine what the family is going through. What is your message to DRPD tonight and to the officer who...
My message is, as I said in the eulogy, that tags on a car does not equal losing someone's life. They will have to explain how, if they were pursuing him, if there was bad tags on the car, and we don't even know if that's true, but how do you end up chasing a man and then killing a man by putting a gun to the back of his head? There are even laws for how policemen can persist and go after a person that is they think committed a crime. You just can't do whatever you want to do. And clearly all of that was violated from what we saw in video.
What should have happened? What should have happened?
He should have followed the laws of what you pursued or someone for. He should have followed the law.
You can't escalate. You're supposed to de-escalate. You're trained for this. I mean, we saw a police officer escalate a simple misdemeanor traffic stop to one of a deadly execution where he put his gun to the back of a head of an unarmed citizen and put a bullet in his brain. We condemn it in the Ukraine. We have to condemn it in Grand Rapids.
Where does this country stand when it comes to federal police reform? And has anyone reached out to the Biden?
Well, where it stands is that the George Floyd Justice and Policing Act didn't pass because we could not get the filibuster overturned. We've made continual meetings. I've had continual discussions with the president, who did push for that bill. And as I said in my eulogy, it needs to be part of the litmus test of who we vote for in these midterm elections.
Did you talk to the Biden administration about this case? Has anyone talked to the Biden administration?
I don't want to reveal what, I don't want to prejudice my appeal to the Justice Department, but we have talked to people.
Is the president aware of this case?
Again, I just answered, I do not want to in any way bias my request to the Justice Department, but we have talked to some people in the administration.
And talk about that, your message to the black community. Because
my message is that we need to say voting rights and George Floyd bill. You must, in order to get our vote, if you're running for the Senate or Congress, you must commit that you will vote and you will advocate strongly to pass those two bills. Thank you very much.